What's up, gang? We're gonna get into this trade recap. Honestly, beautiful day. It was a little bit tough sitting through the drawdown, but I caught like 42 or 44 points on that trade. Didn't get full target, and I did scale out a little bit along the way, and I'll show you why. But yeah, let's get into it. So first off, let's just go on to ES, and I had spoken that we had these equal highs, or sorry, these all-time highs, right? And I really wanted to see the market push for these today. I still think we're gonna. I was surprised we didn't at open. Look at, we ran and just like a point away, right? Like that was ruthless of them. So I was patient. I didn't take any of the shorts. I didn't take any of the chase any of the move down to the downside. And I was waiting to see, I really wanted to see a liquidity sweep model with my level. So if you look here, let's just jump onto the higher time frame. Okay. So and we'll split the screen here. We'll get ES and NQ going. And I'll show you exactly what I was seeing and my whole thought process through it all. Okay, so let's jump on the 5-minute on ES right there. So if you see here, we had this big sell-off, okay? And then what did we do? We created SMT, right? We took London low right here, okay? And we didn't take it on NQ. So that gives us our SMT, boom, right? So I'm like, okay, that big sell-off, we created SMT. Also, we had this discount range from here to here. We pushed out of it once. Now, I know we have another big push up, but this is big open. This is manipulation, really. We came back down and we swept these lows and kind of held that original discount range. So I was like, okay, let's zoom in a little bit and see what we got. And actually, if we jump on is it the 15-minute? Yes. If we jump on the 15-minute, I had noticed that we had this 15-minute bullish fair value gap that we traded into. So right here, boom, there's our 15-minute imbalance, right? So we've swept these lows. We've taken the low on ES right here and created SMT. So now I'm like, I want to look for a buy setup to the upside because I think we're going to push. We have a clear target. We got some relative equal highs right here. And we have some low resistance liquidity right here. So when we had that push down and we created that SMT, I had this 2-minute fair value gap mapped out, but I also had the 1-minute fair value gap. So I'm like, okay, if we come up and we respect this, let's just get rid of this for a sec. If we come up and we respect this fair value gap and this level, then I'm not looking for a long. If we come up and do this, then we should continue to the downside and break that SMT and hunt those London lows. That's the way I'm looking at, that's the way I'm analyzing the market. So if we can get a close above that fair value gap and one of our buy setups above the level, then I'm interested in taking the trade. And that's exactly what we did right here. So we come up, we have the close above the level, and we inverse this 2-minute and the 1-minute. Now I did it on the 1-minute, but I expected us to have a buy setup on that level, right? My key level is right here, this purple line, obviously, right? So here, I'm just gonna get rid of some of this stuff, clean it up a little. So overall, we've taken London low, we've created SMT, we've rebalanced into a 15-minute fair value gap. Now, as soon as we closed above this was my entry right here. Boom. Okay. So that was my entry right there. So I did post the order execution in the chats, in the trading chat and the live chat, so you guys can see exactly the order execution. But I don't have any technicals or nothing on my top screen, right? It's just order flow. So that's why I always just do all my charting on TradingView. So anyways, we got in here, we pushed up and created this high right here. So I know some of you did take this. You know, we had like almost 20 points out of that. Some people took 10, 15, 20 points. But I really wanted this full target, and I didn't scale out there. I didn't scale out. So I noticed we chopped up, we held the level, then we pushed down. I was like, oh, and it was some bad drawdown. So I was basically trading, I didn't have a fixed stop. I was really just trading what I seen. Okay, and if you look over at NQ ES at the same time, we'll jump down to the 2-minute. Let's get rid of these pivots here, these kill zones. And if you look, we pushed above. We'll just scroll over here. So see right here, we pushed down. At the same time, we pushed down on ES, right? But we don't really close below that level. Like, we have a little bit of structure below it, but nothing serious. Nothing serious. And we had this big up close candle here, or this big hammer candle, and we pushed above. And right here, we did close above this 2-minute gap, inverting that gap. So I'm like, all right, The only way I'm going to exit this trade is if we come down and we have a solid displacement below the level. And we don't get that. Every close we get bought right up, right? So I was like, okay, that's good. This level, we're getting some buyers at this level. This institutional pivot's a good level. Also, I mapped out my discount range. So I'll just, if you go here, right? So let's just do it. We'll map it out together. So I take my fib retracement and I draw it from the swing low to the swing high. I noticed that price came down and tapped discount perfectly right there. So I'm like, okay, we've tapped discount. There's no reason for me to get out of the trade. Yes, I'm in 30 points of drawdown, but I was sized properly. I was okay with that drawdown. My account, I wasn't gonna make or break my account. You know, I'll be honest, I had 5 micros in this trade, so I was down like a little over $300. That's not a big drawdown for me, right? I was size small today. We're close to all-time highs. I had a big day yesterday. I don't need to put on risk today. So I was okay with that drawdown. And then I noticed as soon as we came up here, I sold some right here. I knocked off a couple contracts right here. And I was speaking about this high. And this just goes by, if you read that book, right, reading price charts bar by bar, this is the swing high that we created, right? So we have a low, higher low, higher low. I want to see this get pushed through. I want to see a candle close above it, okay? And then we should continue higher. We have another higher low, but we didn't have that higher low at the time. So when we came and we had this wick that level, that could be a sweep to continue lower, okay? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take some contracts off there. Now, I didn't set my stop to break even. A lot of time I will, and I'm glad I didn't. You know, this trade I wanted to see play out. So right here, this candle, we finally get a close above that high. We created basically equal highs now. So now I was confident in the trade. Now I just want to see bullish order flow hold. So I'll just bring my tool over here. So I ended up scaling out right here at the bottom. Now my full target was obviously, oh, a sec there. My full target was these highs up here, which we ended up hitting perfectly and then dumping, right? So I you know, with this drawdown that I was in, I just started to scale out along the way. And I scaled out. When we had this big push here, I scaled out. Then I wanted to see this fair value gap hold. So this is where I got out finally. So I wanted to see this fair value gap hold right here. We held that. We pushed up. I was like, okay, we have another fair value gap. I want to see us tap this gap and then run to these highs. Like we did here. We tapped that gap and pushed up. Now, we didn't do that. And what I did was I took my stop and I put it at the bottom of this fair value gap, just below it. And this wick here stopped me out. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that because I was trading structure, right? I was trading what I seen. And I noticed that we were holding bullish order flow. This fair value gap got disrespected. Now, if I jump down on the 5-minute, you can see we don't really have any 5-minute bounces. On the 2-minute, we did hold this 2-minute. Right? So if you look here, we have this 2-minute. But still, I took the entry on the 1-minute, so I was more zoomed in on the 1-minute for this trade. Now, overall, decent trade. I'm happy with how I executed it. We got like 44 points or something off it. My entry is a little, 46 points. It was a good trade. It was a good trade. Now, would I like to get full TP? Yes. Did it hit? Yes. But while I was in the trade, I was managing it the way that I thought it should be managed. So if we disrespect this gap, which we kind of do, that's where we could fail, right? We could fail here. And the market's very unpredictable lately, so I'm not pushing for full TP every time. If I get 40, 50 points on NQ, I'm cool with that. And I got a 40-point yesterday trade on NQ, and I was sized up a little bit. So today was nice. Today was nice. But listen, we had to withstand all this drawdown. So you got to understand that, you know, sometimes you got to be positioned properly because you're not going to get instant moves to the upside. All right? But overall, I'm pretty sure you guys see exactly how we why we took the trade. We got the SMT. We tapped into the imbalance. We displaced back above the level. We inversed the fair value gap. And that's it, right? That's pretty well enough for me to enter the trade. That I know that when I see all those things line up, 60 to 80% of the time, it's going to go in my favor. I'm going to make money, you know? And the reason why I didn't exit right here and I had a little bit looser of a stop is because we tapped discount and we were still holding my key level, which we came down and almost tapped again right there, right? So Overall, good trade. I know some people took it off at like 10, 15 points, which is completely good. That's a good trade too. Take what you know you can get, right? And then they're done for the day, right? I did hold through some drawdown. It was a little tough. If I hadn't had this drawdown, I definitely would have probably held most of it for full target. But when I get drawdown like this and I see that we don't close above this high, I'm going to scale out. I'm going to take some risk off the table. That's all there is to it, right? So anyways, that's the trade breakdown. If there is any questions, reach out. That's it. I actually took a little scalp pre-market, but it was nothing crazy. This was pretty well one and done for the day. And this is all we need. This is all we need. So, and I don't have FOMO seeing this run. Yeah, it sucks because exactly what I wanted to see happen. But being stuck in the drawdown and then seeing profits, I'm going to take some. You're going to grow accounts taking profit. Okay, so when you get the move, just be content. Take some off. Take one contract off. Take another move. Sell into the push. Put your stops below bullish fair value gaps if you're going to the upside, right? So, that's how you got to manage these trades. That's 40 points is a good trade. I think that's a banger. I would have loved to get, the full 80 points, but I'm completely content with how I managed that trade, and that's all there is to it. So, anyways, that's the trade recap, you guys. If there is any questions, reach out. These levels, this liquidity sweep model and my levels is kind of all I trade lately. If you guys look at it, and that's it. Now, a lot of people are like, why didn't I take my sell setup down here? And we came down and swept. I'll show you exactly what. So let's delete some of this because one of my main models is displacement through a level. Then right here would be my target, right? But I didn't take that because look, we got these equal lows right here. And at the same time, if you look on just a sec here, we had just taken, we already came down and take London low. If we hadn't taken London low, I would have taken a sell here because we have big displacement through the level. We push down and that's it, right? I would have taken it, but we're coming into an imbalance. We've already taken this London low, and I got to see what ES is doing too. If I'm trading NQ, I got to see what ES is doing. So I didn't touch that, and it was a good call, right? Yeah, we would have got a move here. You would have made some money on it, but it was just not something I wanted to participate in. If we hadn't taken this London low, then I would have been in it. So, anyways, that's what I got. Have a good rest of your day. Get the levels charted later, and we'll be back live to crush it tomorrow. Peace.